Good morning, students. So, as this is my first class for you all, so I want to give the first introduction about the biology. So, the biology is the science of life, where you are going to study the story of the life on the earth. So, the biology is the branch where it requires the study of the living organisms. Okay, so this biology, it is of the two branches called the botany and zoology. So the zoology means the study of the animals, or the botany means it is the study of the plants. Both the botany and the zoology are the branch of the biology which deals with the study of the plants and animals respectively. So who is considered to be, or who is called as the father of biology? So the father of biology is the Aristotle. So the Aristotle, he is only considered as the father of biology, the father of even zoology, and also the embryology. So what is meaning of, or what is the embryology? Embryology is the study of the embryonic forms of the living organism. So embryology is also a branch of the biology which deals the study of the embryonic forms of the life. For example, if you take the mother, when she becomes the pregnant, so inside her womb what the embryo will be present. So that is said to be the fetus. Soon after the formation of the meeting of the sperm and the sperm and the egg together, they form, after the fertilization they are going to form the zygote. So that zygote further it will undergo the development and it is going to form the embryo. So the study of the embryo is called as the embryology. And who is considered to be as the father of botany? Botany means it is the branch of biology which deals with the study of the plants. So Theophrastus is considered to be as, or is called as, the father of botany. So this biology, it is very interesting and very easy subject to make you all understand about your own life. So as these are the beginning classes, so I want to give the introduction, or I want to introduce a topic, that is the animal kingdom. Okay, so what is this animal kingdom? So students, are surrounding to you all, you are going to see n number of the organisms, is it not? So those organisms, you may are observing the microscopic organisms, and you even see uh, the animals or the organisms who can be seen with the naked eyes also. So you are going to see n number of the animals surrounding to your environment, is it not? So here, what then we call that organism as amoeba. Including human beings, we are going to observe surrounding to our environment. We see some organisms with a smaller in the size, and some organisms with a larger in the size. This is with respect to the size I am talking. If you take with respect to the complexity, complexity means obviously the complex organism in the animal kingdom, it is the mammals. In the mammals, it is the human being is considered to be as the complex organism on the world. Okay, so here in case of what the environment, we are going to observe the animals, the different animals. So how we considered this is the complex, this is the simple organism. We consider the amoeba to be as a very simple organism. So how this classification is being made? Then we see even the earthworm. I am taking the examples where you are familiar with those. That you are going to see the earthworm. Okay, so this earthworm, you may observe the earthworm with like a elongated body. On the segments some ring like structures will be present. Then you have observed the cockroach, the lizard, the fishes, then reptiles, frogs, all these are, when you observe, please recall their morphological features. Morphological features means their external features. When you consider, when you recall those external features or the morphological characters, they are not similar to each other. They all what I gave the example of, the earthworm, cockroach, that is insect, fishes, frogs, reptiles, then birds, mammals, all are not same or similar to each other. They are having one or the other different characters. Okay, so how this classification is being done? So this animal kingdom, what I gave the example, that is from amoeba till the complex organism, that is the human being. So those organisms are being differentiated into the different groups of animals. So how that groups of the animals are being made, how it is being grouped with the different phylum or the groups. Okay, so that is, so these are the variety of organisms what we are going to see in our environment. So that animal kingdom, what I say, that animal kingdom in surrounding of the environment, what we are going to observe, the organisms who are having the life with respect to the animals, all those animals are being classified into the different phylas. So first students understand what is the meaning of an animal. So what are animals? Animals are multicellular. Multicellular means more number of cells. More number of cells, the organisms who are having more than two cells, we generally call them as the multicellular. And heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means the organisms who depends upon the other organism for their food. Such organisms we call them as heterotrophic. So animals are multicellular and heterotrophic organisms without cell wall and chlorophyll. So no chlorophyll is present, like in case of the plant cells, and no cell wall is present. But still they doesn't have the cell wall and chlorophyll, but still they are considered to be as the multicellular. What is the opposite term of the multicellular? Multicellular opposite term is unicellular. Unicellular means organism who is having the single cell are said to be as the unicellular. Then I called the animals as heterotrophic. What is the opposite term of the heterotrophic? Means it is a autotrophic. Autotrophic means the organisms who are going to prepare their own food. For example, like the plants. So plants are going to prepare their own food with the help of the chlorophyll pigment. So the animals are multicellular and heterotrophic organisms without cell wall and the chlorophyll. So these animals, I said the animals are being classified into the different phyla. What are those different phyla? The first phyla, actually when you consider the unicellular organisms, means the first phylum what comes is the protozoa. But here we have told the animals as multicellular, so we have to consider only the multicellular, the phyla. So when we consider the organisms with respect to the multicellular, then the first phylum what comes is the porifera. So the kingdom Animalia is being classified into the different phyla. What are those different phyla? The first phyla is Porifera, Nidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and the Chordata. So these are the different phyla which are being considered under the kingdom Animalia. Okay, so this kingdom Animalia is being classified into the different phyla. On what basis? The first question what arises is, on what basis the kingdom Animalia is being classified into the different phyla? So what are those? characters or what are the features which made the kingdom Animalia to be differentiated into the different phyla. So here that kingdom Animalia have been included under some primary features or the primary characters which made the kingdom Animalia to be grouped under the different phyla. So what are those features? So those features we call them as the basis of classification. Basis of classification means the basic characters which are considered in the animals to make that kingdom Animalia to classify as the different phyla. So what are those features? The first feature is the levels of organization. Second one is body symmetry. Third one is germinal layers. Fourth one is coelom. Fifth, metamerism, or we even call it as the segmentation. And the last one is the notochord. So these are the important basic features which made the kingdom Animalia to be classified into the different groups of animals. Okay, so what is the levels of organization? Levels of organization means mainly it comes with respect to the number of cells which are present in that particular animal. So here, based on the organization of animals means how the body of an animal is being constructed. So by considering the construction or the organization of the animals are being grouped into the different layers. What are those different layers? They are cellular level, tissue level, organ level, and organ system of organization. So these are the different organization levels which made the kingdom Animalia to be considered under the different phyla. Okay, so we shall understand what is cellular level, what is tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. So the organ level of organization and organ system of organization almost they are uh, quite similar, but first we shall understand what is the cellular level of organization. So cellular level of organization, let us take the example that is poriferans. So poriferans means they are the organisms where they live in the aquatic habitat only. The organisms, the poriferans, inside the body of an poriferan, the cells are being arranged as loosely. The cells in the poriferans or the cells in the sponges are being arranged very loosely. The loose aggregates, the loose cell which is going to aggregate is looking after the whole body functioning of that organism. So understand what is the meaning of this sentence. See, that is the living organism, poriferans. Poriferans are the living organisms means they are having the physiological functions like the digestion, respiration, locomotion, excretion, circulation. All these physiological activities will be taking place in an organism. So to carry out all these physiological activities, in case of the sponges or in case of the poriferans, who are looking after means that is only the cells. So all the physiological activities which are being taking place inside these poriferans are being looked after by only the cells. So those cells are also not being compactly arranged. So those cells are also arranged loosely only. Okay, so all the physiological functions including the reproduction is being carried out in the poriferans by the cells itself. That's why in case of poriferans we call that organization as cellular level of organization. Then the next layer of the level of organization, the next type is tissue level of organization. So what is this tissue level of organization? Tissue level of organization means, and remember that tissue level of organization is observed in the organisms which are belonging to the phylum Coelenterata, or what we call even it as the Cnidaria also. So what are the examples? Students, you might have heard of the example with respect to the Hydra. So what is going to happen in the Hydra? The Hydra, whatever the physiological activities it is having inside its body, so all those physiological activities are being done by the tissues. So how the tissues are being formed? The tissues are being formed by the group of the cells, which all the group cells are being grouped, and are they going to form tissues? Not like that. The cells which are having the same origin, the cells which are having the same structure, the cells which are helping for the same function, so all such kind of the cells are grouped together and they are going to form a tissue. So in case of the Coelenterata or the Hydra, the physiological activities are being carried out by the tissues only. The next category of the level of organization is organ level of organization. So what is this organ level of organization? So this organ level of organization we observe in case of the liver fluke, where it belongs to the phylum Platyhelminthes. So in case of these Platyhelminthes, what happens is this tissues, the tissues means the group of the cells who are having the same origin, same structure and same function, they are going to group together and form the tissues. But in case of organ level of organization, what happens is that tissues, they are going to group together, where the tissues are having the same structure, same origin, same function. So such tissues are going to be arranged in a group and they are going to form the organ. So here in case of Platyhelminthes, in case of the liver fluke, all the physiological activities are being carried by the organs only. That's why we call in case of the liver fluke and Platyhelminthes as the organ grade of or organ level of organization. The next type of level of organization is organ system level of organization. So what is this organ system level of organization? So that organ system level of organization we are going to observe in case of the phylum Arthropoda. So phylum Arthropoda means, here the examples what I have shown is the honeybee. So in case of these phylum Arthropoda, don't think that organ system level of organization is being observed only in the Arthropoda. Almost from phylum Arthropoda onwards till the chordate, the organ system level of organization is being observed. So what is this organ system level of organization? Organ system level of organization means, consider now you all are having the digestive system. So that digestive system is made up of the different organs. What are those different organs? Your buccal cavity. Buccal cavity means mouth. When you open, a cavity like structure is observed. So that is the buccal cavity, or even we call it as oral cavity. Then your food pipe, that is esophagus. Then stomach, your intestine, then the liver, pancreas, gallbladder. All these are the different organs, correct? Different organs, but all are having the same function. What is that same function? To help for the process of digestion. So all these organs which I listed out under the digestive system, all those organs are grouped together and forms a system, and that system itself we call it as the digestive system. So remember, what is the organ system level of organization? Organ system level of organization means the different organs who are helping for the same function are grouped together and form a system. So such a system is called on as the organ system. So organs which are associated to a organ system, each system performs a physiological function. Each system performs a physiological function means, digestive system, it performs only the physiological function, that is digestion. Respiratory system It carries out only a physiological function called a respiration. Reproductive system, only the reproduction. Your excretory system, only for the process of excretion. So each system is going to help for only one physiological function. Is it clear, students? So under the animal kingdom, what the classification is being made as the different phyla. So that different phyla is being made by considering the first character, that is the level of organization. So under the level of organization, I have told the four types. What is that? Cellular, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. So the next one is, the next basis of classification is the symmetry. So what is this symmetry? Symmetry, it is the arrangement of the body parts on two sides of main axis of the body. Okay, so now you might be clear with this. So can you see here? So here what I have told it as none, one more is radial, and another one is bilateral. So students, you imagine or you take the example. So here and under the bilateral, what I have shown, that is a insect. Okay, when you cut the insect by with a longitudinal axis, when you cut that insect with a longitudinal axis, so you can see one eye on one side and another eye on the other side. Okay, one wing on one side and other wing on the other side, and the segments also, some segments are being divided on equally, the segments are being divided on the both the sides of that organism. So what is this symmetry? You can take even example of your the human beings. So when the human being is cut by passing through the longitudinal axis, we are going to get on one side one eye, one nostril, half of the mouth, one hand, and other leg. Okay, so completely it is going to divide equally on both the sides. But in the example what I have shown it as the none. So there can you observe, if you pass the organism through a longitudinal axis, if you cut that organism, can it give the two equal halves? It is not going to give the two equal halves. Okay, so the organisms, when you, the arrangement of the body parts, when we divide that arrangement of the body parts, if it gives the two equal parts of the body, then we call that organism as the symmetrical. Where that body or the where the organism cannot divide itself as the equal two parts, so such organisms we consider it as asymmetrical. So asymmetrical means where a body cannot be divided into two similar parts. Example, poriference. So here what I have shown under the none, that image is with respect to the poriference. See, you cut that organism by passing through the longitudinal axis or by passing through the vertical axis. You cannot divide that organism into the two equal parts. So such organisms we call it as a symmetrical. Okay, so one more type is symmetrical. So what is that symmetrical? Symmetrical means the body can be divided into two similar parts. Okay, so that two similar parts, that the symmetry is of two types. What is that two types? One is the radial symmetry and another one is bilateral symmetry. So here now consider a organism where that organism body is completely a spherical like. Okay, when you cut that organism from one axis, obviously it is going to give the two equal halves. When you cut that organism with the longitudinal axis, the same organism if you cut with the vertical section also, it is going to give the two equal parts. Are you understanding? Or if you take the example of the human beings, see, when you cut the body of an human being by passing the axis from head till the legs, completely it is going to give the two equal parts. If you pass a axis for cutting the body of an human being by passing through the vertical section means the cut, if it is going to pass only your stomach, then your head, the face and the chest part will be on another one side, and the abdomen, the lower abdomen and the legs will be at another side. So it is not going to give the two equal parts. Okay, so a human being, when you divide the human being, when you cut the body of any human being only by passing through the longitudinal axis, it is going to give the two equal halves. So such kind of the symmetry is called as bilateral symmetry. One more I said, that organism who is having the spherical body. So there when you cut, now consider a circle. Okay, so circle means it will be having the radius. By passing through the radius, if you cut a organism, then obviously it is going to give the two equal parts. Okay, it is going to give the semi circle. So such type of the symmetry is called as the radial symmetry. What are the example? The example is the Cnidarian, ctenophores and the echinoderms, means the Cnidaria, ctenophora, echinodermata. These are the names of the phyla. So here students, you can observe none it is under asymmetrical. Radial and the bilateral symmetry, it is under the symmetrical. So here the radial, what I have mentioned, it is the organism by name the Aurelia or the jellyfish. They are the examples for the Coelenterata. So here this organism, the body of that organism is spherical. So it is having the radius, that is central axis. So by passing through the central axis of that organism, when we cut that organism, it is going to give the equal parts. When the organism is being cut by passing through the central axis or the main axis of the body, or by passing through the radius, if it gives the two equal parts, then we call that symmetry as a radial symmetry. You take the example of the insect. So insect can cut by passing through the longitudinal axis, then only it gives the two equal parts. If you cut that organism by passing through the vertical section, it cannot give the two equal parts. So that's why it is obeying only one single axis. What is that single axis? That is the bilateral axis or the longitudinal axis. So such kind of the symmetry, we call it as the bilateral symmetry. So what I have told in this class, I have said in the environment we are going to observe the different kinds of the animals. So those animals are being classified into the different phyla. So how that classification is being done? So to make that classification of the animal kingdom, what the characters they have considered is the level of organization, symmetry, germ layers, then the coelom, segmentation and the notochord. So in this class we have come across only with respect to the level of organization and the symmetry. About the germ layers, the coelom, segmentation, notochord, so that part I will be explaining it in the next class. Thank you students. Please keep studying.